Let's talk some tennis here on the program. Our next guest comes by way of thescore.com and Score Mobile. You can check her out as well on twitter.com/Lyra Pappin, LYRAPAPPIN. Hey, Lyra, how you doing?
I'm pretty great. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. Well, TSN's experiencing record ratings on television for Wimbledon, and I'm sure it'll get even crazier on the weekend, and hopefully Milos wins tomorrow. Your thoughts on what you saw today from Genie Bouchard?
Genie Bouchard just continues to be so impressive with literally everything that she's doing, from her on-court play to how she handles the media and all the attention she's getting after. She really is making this look incredibly easy. The way she took out Simona Halep today, who's been a very tough player, who's also been on the rise all this year, it's just insane. She held her composure through everything, through Simona's apparent maybe minor injury that might have kind of held back her movement a little bit. But the thing that's really impressive about a true champion is that kind of thing is just something that they add to their game. Genie was moving her around as much as she could. She was testing her, and she didn't let any of it get to her as she just solidly closed out the match.
All right. In terms of the other semifinal, we didn't really watch. Admittedly, I didn't really watch much of it. You had a couple of Czechs going at it, and of course, Kvitova is now in the final. What do you know about her?
Petra Kvitova is a very strong player. She's been in the top 10 for quite some time. She obviously has won Wimbledon in the past. So she's definitely hungry to try to repeat that success, because she's always, she's kind of hanging in there and she can give the girls a good match, but she hasn't been in this position for quite some time. So she'll definitely be very focused, and she has the experience to go off of from her previous win. But I think she's coming up against a player who doesn't care about any of that. Bouchard won't be intimidated by her. They've only played once before, and it was actually less than a year ago at Rogers Cup in Toronto. And at that point, it's really amazing how far Genie's come, because she definitely seemed to sort of be at her limit at that time. She lost in straight sets to Kvitova then. I don't think it's going to be the same case now. I think she has a very strong chance to push Kvitova around, and it'll be a really compelling match.
Lefty, what do you think about that, the lefty-righty matchup?
I think, it might be something that she gets used to over a couple of games, but I think she's actually, she's good friends with Laura Robson, who's also a lefty, so she would have, had a lot of time practicing with her before Robson's injury this year. I don't think it's something that's going to get in her head too much. She seems way too focused, just too determined to win each point. She seems very sort of almost oblivious to what's going on the other side of the net. She just focuses on each point and on the ball that's coming at her.
All right, and looking at tomorrow's matchup, I mean, obviously this is the biggest match of Milos Raonic's career against Roger Federer, who's playing some pretty good tennis himself, knocking off his countryman Wawrinka yesterday. What is the strategy for Milos in this one, other than serve, serve, serve?
I think you kind of hit it on the head. I don't know exactly what else is in his mind that he's going to try to do. I think that he's going to have to be so aggressive on the points, try to keep them short. I don't think he's going to out-rally Federer, even though, Federer himself is known for shortening points, but Raonic is going to have to really give himself a chance to come to the net, really believe in his net game. We have seen him serve and volley more. I think he's going to have to do that as much as possible, and really try to keep Federer guessing. We've seen over the past couple of years when Federer, he hasn't been at the top of his game. He hasn't been in his peak form when he loses his confidence. I think there hasn't really been as much of a skill drop-off for Federer, but once he starts doubting himself, if he gets behind, he doesn't play as well. So I think if Raonic can get a fast start and really move in and attack, then he could put himself in a really good position.
All right, and as for Federer, what is the chink in the armor here that Raonic can exploit, if there is one right now?
I think it's really all going to come down to doubt. I think if Raonic can push him around, I think that would really catch Federer by surprise. I also think he doesn't appreciate it when people do that to him. He's gotten a little bit more used to it, but I think that he's not ready for this whole changing of the guard storyline to really take over, and that's something that would set him back. He's also got to have it very high on the top of his mind that this is his best chance to win another Grand Slam final right now. He doesn't have to face Nadal. Djokovic isn't 100% either, I don't think. Murray's obviously gone. So Federer is going to have to try not to think too far ahead, but at the same time be aware that he's got to capitalize on these chances. And if that's something that Raonic can put in his mind a little more, then that could throw him off his game a bit.
All right. And looking back at this tournament now, Lyra, who are some of the names that along the way that really impressed you, that you thought, wow, I can't wait for the next one, which obviously the next Grand Slam, which is the U.S. Open. I can't wait to see if they'll take it up to the next level.
I'm really looking forward to seeing, I think, pretty much any future match that Australian 19-year-old Nick Kyrgios plays. Mm-hmm. That's actually, his style of play is kind of similar to Vasek Pospisil, and I'm really, it's very impressive how well Pospisil is doing with his brand new doubles partner, Jack Sock, as well. So also looking forward to seeing if that confidence maybe from the doubles success can carry back into Pospisil's game, because, he was such an exciting player to watch last year, and hoping that he'll come back and have a little bit more of a run the rest of the hardcore season. And then similarly with Kyrgios, I mean, he's a guy who brings a ton of energy and personality onto the court, and it's really exciting to see that level of passion. Those two qualities as well, I think, are something that Raonic could hopefully maybe pick up and play off of, just a little more brashness, a little more willingness to show these guys that he means business out there and it's not just all talk. I
got to say, though, in that match, in Raonic's last match, I mean, I've kind of ragged on him for not having a ton of personality, but honestly, unbelievable job of staying even keel, missing a shot, getting a great shot, no reaction either way. That's the way to do it. That's the way it's been working for him, is to be sort of in the moment and completely focused. And he shouldn't deviate from that at all. So we shouldn't try and change him or wish he was something else, because it's working right now.
I think you're right. In that case, it worked really well against Kyrgios, because it kind of almost seemed to suck the energy out of someone who plays off of that much aggression and just sort of emotion. So if Raonic had really been putting it out there, I think it almost would have amped Kyrgios up a little bit. So you're right, it did. It helped keep things flat. Raonic never panicked. He seemed very in control. He wasn't going to get sucked into his opponent's game. But I think against someone like Federer, who has that same mentality, he's very calm out there. He gives away nothing. It's very rare that you'll see Federer, even shake his head at himself. So I think if Raonic wants to impose himself a little bit more on someone like Federer, then he, I think, should be able to make some emphatic motions and just show him that he really believes he's going to win that match.
Because of his incredible amount of success at Wimbledon, will that crowd be 99% pro Federer?
I think, there's a huge wave of nostalgia for Federer. The talk of his decline has been going on now, I think, for way too long. I think it started too early. And, we see that Federer just each year comes back and commits himself more. And I think that just continues to win fans over. They really want to see him do well. They don't want it to be his, farewell tour by any means. So, yeah, Raonic is going to be playing the crowd as well and going to have to set that aside. I don't think that'll be a problem for him. I think he's probably a little bit used to it. And I think the crowd also, it will matter how well Federer is playing. They kind of tend to go away a little bit. It might become very quiet if he's not doing well. But I think that the crowd will be really interested in seeing a really competitive match. So I think the quality of the play will sort of determine how much the crowd plays into it.
All right, and then back to Bouchard. It seems like she may be the sentimental favorite tomorrow, even though she's playing a former Wimbledon champion just 3 years ago. Do you expect an overwhelming pro Genie crowd?
Absolutely. I think she's won the attention of so many. She has so many fans, not just in Canada. The American press is all over her. I think everyone heard Chrissy Everett today predict that she will win Wimbledon. Whether it is on Saturday or in the future, I think she's looking at some pretty good chances, and she definitely has a huge amount of attention on her, and she handles it so well. I would be absolutely shocked if it's anything but a very pro Genie Bouchard crowd.
All right, prediction time. What do you got for both?
For Raonic and Federer, I'm going to say if Raonic can get off to a fast start, he could win that match in 4 sets. For Bouchard and Kvitova, I think we're looking at 3 sets, and I think Bouchard could do it.
Wow, I'm still taken aback that you're going against your boy Federer.
I think it really depends on the start. Raonic has his best chance ever if he can be aggressive and sort of harness everything he's working on and make it happen. I think Federer could be caught a little off guard, and you just see him, he kind of wilts when that pressure is put on him. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm being a little optimistic, I think, but
I think
gonna
Raonic should come out in Nadal and knee wraps and some
knee capris.
Some ridiculous Euro capris on guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No sleeves. Yeah. Take it old school.
No, Milos should not show those guns. He should not show those guns.
The tan lines will be wild right now with his whole bionic arm sleeve.
By the way, this will blow your mind. I saw Connor McKenna, another host here on TSN 690, retweet this today. According to somebody at TSN, they did some research, and you obviously Jim Parsons is friends with Genie Bouchard. He's been in the box, guy from the Big Bang Theory, watching her matches. How about this connection between her and Milos Raonic? The guy who plays Sheldon, right, Jim Parsons' boss, the head of the university, that actor is the guy who played Milos on Seinfeld. Can you imagine? Is that unbelievable?
They're definitely going to have to do a double cameo then.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that guy does not want to do it for anyone, anytime.
I know.
It probably hurt him for years.
I think he finally got to the stage where everyone's a little tired of hearing another game from Milos. But, yeah.
I didn't even recognize him. So when I think about it now, it makes a lot of sense. Dr. Gabelhauser, I think his character's name is. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lyra. Really appreciate it. And enjoy the match tomorrow and Saturday as well. And hopefully we have another one on Sunday.
Yeah, we're hoping for more history in Canada, that's for sure.
All right. Lyra Pappin on Twitter if you want to follow her there. Thanks a lot.